What's up, guys? Long time no see. Alright, so this is going to be our first pepper review. I picked a small one. It kind of looks like a charapita, almost. A little tiny little charapita, but it's not. That is the mini white habanero. I'll leave all the correct information in the description below and the title and everything, but we're going to taste test that, and we're going to try and describe the flavor and the heat and any other effect I get from it. So let's give it a bite. It's got that strong, pungency, very hot, hits you right away. It's my first pepper review, so I'm going to be a little unseasoned. It's still in my mouth. I'm just kind of letting it drain out. It's got some powerful heat on this thing. The pungency, taste of it is habanero pungency. Got flowery, still chewing it. It almost has a Fatalii taste to it. That strong Fatalii taste. The heat is incredible. The heat, I'm going to start upping my Scoville numbers. I've been rating my Scoville numbers a little low. Habaneros are generally around 100,000. This thing's about 100,000. Man, this thing is hot, man. Wow. It's burning the whole top of my tongue. Not much on the roof, but a little bit on the roof towards the back. It's kind of getting to the tonsils area. You know, your tonsils, those larynx, those things. It's getting that area. You can see my eyes are starting to water. The heat on these are very hot. That was a little one. Wow. No gut cramp and no heat cupping. The reason why is I let it sit in my mouth and I let it slowly go down. You know, swallow it down. When you take it down too fast, that's when you puke. You got to put up with the heat. It's going to be in your mouth. It's going to burn you anyway. Just leave it in there. Let the flavor slowly and the heat come out nice and slow, and then you won't get that effect. You eat it and swallow it right away, your mouth is going to burn anyway, so why do that? My eyes are watering. This is hot. I'm going to put this at the 100,000 mark with the habanero rating. It's already starting to come down a little. Tongue is singed. If I try to smoke, if I was a smoker, I tried to smoke a cigarette, you wouldn't be able to smoke. I do the vape. I can't vape right now. I can't vape for about 15 minutes after I do these taste tests with these peppers, these hot ones. If it burns your tongue even more, it seems. The flavor, basically the flavor was very flowery. It tasted very, it tastes like a habanero. Kind of has that Fatalii effect a little bit. And when I say Fatalii effect, for some reason, Fatali's got a very strong Fatalii flavor. I would call that spicy. It's not the heat, it's the flavor of it. It's very spicy. It wants to stay in your mouth. And it kind of wants to keep coming back, and you keep tasting it for a while after you eat it, even if you mix it with food. This is kind of getting in that area a little bit. It kind of stays with you a little. I could still taste it. Most of the hot peppers, I eat them, taste them, and they're generally, it kind of goes. This has that soap flavor a little bit to it too. A little bit of that soapy flavor. I'm not sure what causes that flavor, but it does taste a little soapy to me. But the heat is very high. I'm going to say between, we're going to bring these numbers up for this year. I'm going to start bringing these numbers up. I'm going to say between 80 and 100,000 on this one. That was a little pepper. Its heat was incredible. If you're a habanero person and you like habaneros, this would be a good pepper for you to grow. Some people like habaneros. Some people just don't. I'm not a big fan of habaneros. I was in the beginning when I first really started getting into hot peppers. I kind of liked habaneros. That was like the big craze for me. But once you start getting into the really hot ones, like, you know, the scorpions, the nagas, the reapers, and you start getting into these, once you start getting into these really hot peppers, getting attacked by all these bees today. They normally don't bother you, but once you start getting into all these other hot peppers and all these different varieties, you start to get bored really quick with habaneros. So I'm not going to say I don't like habaneros, but they're not the first thing I would go for. If you're making certain dishes, certain salsas and maybe sauces and things like that, it'll go good with that kind of a thing. But when you're growing as many peppers as I do, I kind of gravitate towards other peppers, like different, more specialty type stuff, you know, like these mojo peppers I'm growing. But this tastes generally like the habanero. The heat was incredibly hot. It came up fast, came down pretty quickly. It didn't really last that long. I'm sure if it was bigger, it would have been a lot more devastating. But nowhere near a scorpion or a reaper. It ain't that kind of heat. A scorpion or a reaper goes right to the throat. It burns the whole throat and everything. This was kind of getting around the back part of your throat where your tonsils are, that area. A little bit. Wasn't bad. Taste was, it's on my lips. You could still taste it. That's just got to be one of those features that you're going to kind of like with peppers. If you don't really care for that feature, this may not be a pepper for you. But they're fun to grow, and they make a lot of them. I'll give you another look at. Now, this is a 2-year plant. I'm going to bring this one in for the winter. We're going to try to keep this alive for next year because I really don't want to regrow it. You can see it's a pretty good little bush. If I put this thing outside by itself, it'd probably get a lot bigger. But being I bring this pepper in, I'm going to be bringing it in for the winter. I really don't want it to get too big. In fact, I got to trim this down. I don't really need it to produce hundreds of peppers because the amount of peppers it's producing is good enough. I mean, like I say, I'm not that big of a fan of these. They go good in the salad. They go good in the salsa, but in fact, I'm going to pick this one right now. That's one of the bigger ones. Now, one of these I probably wouldn't eat the whole thing by itself. That's a pretty hot pepper right there. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to give it a go, pick up seeds. I'll leave some links in the description if you want to check out Amazon. But yeah, give it a go. If you like habaneros, this is probably a good one for you. It is hot though. I am going to tell you, it's hotter. Like these habaneros I eat, I got used to these. They're hot, but I don't know. They don't hit me the same way. This hit me pretty hard. It was like compact. It was like the heat was condensed on this thing. So just keep that in mind when you're eating these things. These little ones, don't underestimate them. They can really pack a really mean punch. Alright, so hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.